Eventually, one question rises: if constant work doesn't move me forward, what will? Where does the escape exist? Where in this maze-like structure lies the path out of it? Because earning isn't the goal. Earning is just the entry point. The real breakthrough happens when earned money grows, multiplies, evolves into wealth. Not the paycheck, not the salary, not the next incremental raise, but wealth is the actual substance to cure all our financial crises. Earning money isn't the solution. The solution is building wealth, not from what is earned, but from where and how it is earned. That is the real objective. Wealth built not only from income, but from resources, patterns, structures, and decisions, and definitely far beyond the simple act of working and hardship. And that transformation doesn't come from labor and effort. It comes from understanding patterns, systems, structures, and leverage. Because here's the painful truth. We were never taught how to grow money. We were only taught how to earn it. And this is the core reason why so many people feel stuck, helpless, and left behind. And without the knowledge about the framework and the perspective required to build wealth, we repeat the same cycle of mistake, year after year, believing effort and hustling is enough, whereas they were only ever meant to be just the beginning. They remain loss-incurring victims of this dynamic for years, failing to understand where to stabilize themselves or how and when to make a leap from earning into actual wealth building. They don't recognize their inner features, caliber, or attitude toward money making. They don't know the stages, the phases, the progression trajectory that leads to accumulating wealth. Without map, without estimation, without even the faintest understanding of their own potential, they work, strive, endure, give years of their life to effort and hustling. And yet, after such a long stretch of grinding, they find themselves still trapped in the same cycle of struggle, the non-stop hustle, just to earn enough to keep continuing earning. We spend our entire lives working, decades of effort, energy, and sacrifice. Many says that work is noble, that effort alone shapes our future. Ultimately, we work for earning money first, not for meaning, not for identity. We work so that we don't get bulldozed by our daily pressing necessary matters. The unavoidable costs of being alive or bearing the expenditure of our essential commercial, ambitious, or even philanthropic projects. We earn money because without it, life becomes unlivable, survival becomes uncertain, and even innovative enterprises come to a complete standstill. Is there someone who spends time, skill, and energy creating a product, delivering a service, and then refuses compensation for it? No. Because every professional, every occupational individual eventually carries the same truth. We work to earn, we earn to afford, we afford to exist. And in this modern time, whatever happens in our homes, our societies, our business world, our dealings and transactions, all of it is powered by one stern, grim, and haunting reality, that money circulates, and that circulation sustains the entire system and existence of mankind. Not identity, not aspiration, not daily life. Nothing remains untouched by the influence and impact of money. Everything has now been covered and brought under the same umbrella called financial transaction. Every trade, every exchange, every agreement, all of it is routed through currency. And here is the irony most people refuse to see. Even if you desire to be noble, to give, to help, to uplift, whether through philanthropy, charity, or humanitarian effort, it all still happens through money. Compassion requires funding, kindness requires infrastructure, even generosity depends on the provided capital. Because the comfort, convenience, or necessities offered to those in need must still be purchased from someone manufacturing and delivering them. So whether we chase survival, comfort, legacy, or service, the mechanism remains unchanged. Money is the medium, and no matter how distant we believe we are from its influence, it defines our every direction far more real and all-encompassing than we dare to admit. Earning is not enough, though earning gets you motion, but wealth gets you direction, stability, and access. And the uncomfortable reality? People are not failing because they are careless, but because the system gave them monetary tasks, not financial translation. Work without financial literacy turns into lifelong motion and very little progressive advancement. Because even when someone tries to understand, they immediately hit a wall of technical terms, abstract concepts, industry jargon, APR, liquidity, derivatives, yield curves, diversification. It feels less like education and more like encryption. Finance becomes a locked room guarded by vocabulary rather than ability. Finance, law, politics, corporate systems, they all share the same defense mechanism that is called jargon. It is a specialized technical terminology of a particular group or subject. These subjects were never designed to be easily understood, not because they are complex, but because they are power-bearing. What cannot be understood cannot be questioned, and what cannot be questioned securely remains in power and control. If people can't evaluate it, they remain dependent. Language becomes a barrier, complexity becomes a gate, and only those with prior access are allowed to walk through effortlessly. Everyone else stands outside, feeling insufficient, not because they lack intelligence, but because the system speaks a dialect never meant for general public understanding. The financial system isn't broken, it's functioning exactly as intended. The world of money making and wealth building isn't presented clearly, it's buried in terminology designed to feel distant, complicated, untouchable by a common person. All important facets of life and society are wrapped in the same armor: law, tax, banking, business line, government sector. Each one becomes a world of its own, soaking with vocabulary that feels intentionally hindered to immobilize the common person. Somehow, people will have to figure out translating the world of money, otherwise they will remain dependent. Dependent on employers, dependent on experts, dependent on chance. How does a regular person learn what was kept from them? Not by memorizing more jargon, but by doing exactly what humans naturally do. We learn through patterns, through metaphors we already understand. The first step toward financial awareness is not numbers, but meaning. We learn through recognition, through those patterns which the mind already understands. And so, if we ever hope to bridge that gap, to make the monetary system understandable, we require something our mind already realizes: a parallel, a resemblance, a metaphor. Only through a resembling structure that the mind is already well aware of can we digest and deal with complicated jargon-filled abstract knowledge. That's how inaccessible systems finally become entryable and usable. If a system cannot be explained, it cannot be mastered. And if it cannot be mastered, it will definitely control you. Because the moment money becomes understandable, it becomes maneuverable. And once you can maneuver money, you are no longer the horse chasing the carrot. You become the rider choosing the route. So, are you walking toward the carrot or toward command? Because between those two paths lies the difference between merely earning and truly acquiring wealth. And remember, once you understand the economic system, you stop hustling inside it and start commanding above it. I'm Salahuddin, this is Rivonomics, and you are awakening.